Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, let's get everyone in here. Where is everyone? Travis wins today. All right. Okay, come on. All right, cool. We got everyone. All right, welcome, welcome, welcome. So let's jump right into it. So one of the things that actually caught my attention, the interesting thing about Rhino, amongst a whole bunch of it, is the fact that no one in Rhino is obligated or needs to be, say, a crypto enthusiast or needs to be on the cutting edge of the next crypto headline. And as a result, a lot of Rhino is based on, okay, I go to the meetings, I follow the emails, I contact Anthony when I have a question, so I'm okay. But that doesn't negate the fact that in regular society, if you're ever in a conversation and someone's like, hey, did you hear about XYZ headline? And they know or that you're a part of something blockchain related, like crypto related, or you hear about a headline and you have an interest in it, it doesn't negate the fact that in that moment, if you're devoid of that type of information, hey, Rick, you could be left in a precarious or at least an uncomfortable position. So I'm always on the front lines of everything, and I don't find the need to report back every little thing. Like right, like for instance, oh, Binance got a mean tweet from somebody in the government, so we need to, and then start speculating. Right, like that's that's gossip. But some things really did happen. So as of yesterday, the SEC has sued Binance, and they are alleging like 8 or 9 different counts of things that they've commingled funds, that they're putting out coins that people are using as securities, and a whole bunch of nasty stuff. Now, and actually, the SEC went ahead and sued Coinbase today, and Coinbase stock has plummeted like 22%. They said the same things about them. So you could go ahead and speculate, well, why is the SEC doing this? And you could have a good reason or a bad reason. A good reason being, oh, they're trying to make sure investors are okay. And a bad reason being, they have an axe to grind and they have an ulterior motive, whatever. But none of that matters, right? Like that's just your opinion. The facts are, well, how long does a case take to play out? Hey, Andrew. Hey, Deborah. Well, a case takes quite a long time, right? Like you don't. Binance is the number one largest exchange in the entire world. I think they're like worth like $100 billion. Like they're very, very big. Coinbase is the number 3, but also the number 1 in the US. Coinbase's backers are all Goldman Sachs and all the investment banking community on Wall Street that own that paper and have sold it to their clients. So if you take a look at Binance and say they're the largest in industries such as crypto, that's growing by leaps and bounds. And Binance is not a US company to begin with. So the worst the US could do is say, hey, listen, we don't like you. Get out of our country and you can never do business here again. Coinbase is different. Yeah, Bittrex was also a real bad company, right? Like Bittrex, when we're talking about exchanges, Binance being number 1 in the world and Coinbase being number 3 in the world and number 1 in the US, Bittrex, I think, was number like 500. But to your point, Deborah, like things are being shut down. So that's the worst that could happen to Binance. And they still have a huge operation outside the US. Coinbase is a little different because Coinbase is registered in America. This is their largest market, which means if the US really came down on Coinbase, Coinbase would have a lot of problems. Like they're completely, what's the word I'm looking for? They're completely, not volatile, they're completely vulnerable to the US. But then when you take a look at the US and you say, okay, well, who are their backers? They're the biggest Wall Street investment banks. And Gary Gensler, I think, is from, and please don't quote me on this because I don't want to be fake information, right? Like fake news. I think Gary Gensler was from Goldman Sachs. I'm not sure. So definitely don't take that for fact. Like look that up. But the case being that there's a lot of connection there. And then when you take a look at FTX, that big exchange that did crash, well, the head of that company, Sam Bankman-Fried, was the number 1 supporter to Democrats. In fact, many people have said for a very long time after it crashed, wait a second, like You guys were allowing this to go on. Did you see how bad they were? So the SEC and the government are trying to clean up for that mess, saying, okay, well, we didn't see that, so let's make sure no one else is doing that. In which case, if you were the head of Coinbase or the head of Binance, it seems likely, it seems fair to reason that if the head of the company that went bankrupt was the biggest supporter to the Democratic Party, and actually they've been accused of laundering money from Ukraine to, like, there's a lot of yuckiness going on there. If any of that's true, or even if it's half true, it would stand fair to reason that the heads of the other major companies would have a little bit of information on that. Like, oh, well, we could prove this, or we know this, or we know this. The point of all this that I'm sharing is that I don't think these headlines, unlike other headlines, right? Like if a headline came out about cigarettes are causing cancer today, well, people stop smoking. And of course, the headline did come out and they've progressively gone down. But say, for instance, a headline came out that Advil has been spiked with rat poison. Well, Advil sales go like this, right? Like that's a headline that nobody touches it anymore. Mad cow disease got into, I don't know, burgers. Nobody buys burgers anymore. This isn't that. This is a headline where we're suing you. Now, guess what? Now we have to make a case. We'll send it to you. We'll send it to your lawyers. You have 30 days. You have 60 days. You could have a postponement. Then you're going. It's a very long process. Be that as it may, it does affect some stuff. So if you're a Coinbase shareholder, like you own stock in the company, well, this isn't a good day for you, because if you have the US government actively going, attacking you, and that's your jurisdiction, well, the value of the company is seriously in jeopardy. Therefore, if you're a shareholder, that's not a good thing. If you're a bond holder, if you're any type of holder of Coinbase, that's not a good thing. If you're the holder of a Coinbase coin, I don't think it really matters, right? Like, because you could take your coin and send it somewhere else, which actually would go more to the fact that if you're a Coinbase shareholder, you have a problem. Because which I do have money. So where do I buy? So I buy from Coinbase every day, but then I send it immediately to Binance. If I was an account holder, like say for instance, I had $1 million in Bitcoin and it was in my Coinbase account, do you think today I'm leaving that there? Like in what world would I ever leave that there? I would send that out so fast, which means the assets that Coinbase has should go down and the fees that they're able to charge should go down as a function of less transactions, less volume, right? So again, as a Coinbase shareholder, I think you have a problem. What are we? And actually, so before I say that, if you're a shareholder of any of these other coins, you have a bit of a problem, right? Because if you see the largest, most powerful government in the entire world going after a market where I don't think the US is the largest crypto market, I think India might be. It's certainly, the US certainly isn't larger than number 2, 3, and 4, right? Like it's pretty well diversified across the world. But be that as it may, you would say, oh, wow, if the US all of a sudden had a problem buying this, or the people that buy it, now they're scared and they're going to buy less, or people are selling it, you would see the price of all coins come down. So I think Bitcoin got over 30,000 maybe a week ago. It's now down to 25,000. It was down 1,500 overnight. Now let's go ahead to Binance. Now, if you have the US government coming after Binance, well, what does it really affect? Well, Binance is a private company. I'm not none of us are shareholders, so it doesn't hurt our stock portfolio. The coins on Binance, the same coins anywhere else, so they all get affected equally. But Binance actually has a coin, BNB. It's their smart chain contract coin. That coin was $330. It's now down to $275. It took a nice little hit. Now, if Binance was kicked out of the US, what would that coin go to? I don't know, probably go down a lot, probably down to 150, 200. Hey, Frida, no, it's okay. It would be a problem. So those owning BNB might say to themselves, well, I don't want to own too much of this. And in fact, we're a BNB owner because BNB is the gas used for us to send the coin. So we don't own BNB to make money. So we don't really care what price it is. We use it functionally. It gets sent back and forth. We never take BNB and say, oh, we bought it at 10, let's go sell it at 20. So we don't really, it doesn't affect us. But let's continue. What could affect us? Well, our coin's backed by BUSD, which is a Binance dollar coin. Our market is PancakeSwap, which is owned by Binance. So you have to ask yourself, well, do we have faith in Binance? Well, let's go back a couple of minutes. Binance is not an American company. It's headquarters overseas. In fact, America is not even. I'm sure it's a big part of their business. Like I don't think it's not, but I don't think it's the largest part. They had to create an alternate site, Binance.us, just to operate in the US. So it stands for the reason that the US, and again, in the US, Coinbase is our largest market. So I don't really even think America is a big market for Binance. Be that as it may, what's our worst case scenario? What's our worst case scenario? Well, the worst case scenario is, say, a year or two from now, they have some type of ruling and Binance is no longer able to operate in the US. Okay. Well, if that were the case, what would happen? What would happen to the value of Rhino? Well, nothing. Well, how can I say nothing? Very easily. Rhino is backed by BUSD. Yes, that's a Binance coin, but it's a Binance dollar coin. For Binance to stay solvent anywhere in the world, that dollar coin has to be worth $1. Like, for instance, no company could ever stay in business if they said, we back this coin that is used universally at $1. We're going to let it go to 50 cents. Like, we're doing so bad that we can't even back that, but please give us your money. Like, hey, give us your money. Yeah, we can't pay our bills. We don't have any money anywhere. We can't even back this coin, but continue. That would be cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. The point being, in no uncertain terms, the red line is that dollar coin. That is the difference between Binance being in business and Binance not being in business. So if you were to say, and if you were to surmise and deduce that the US is not the largest market and Binance can, 2 years from now, can very easily say they even have a bit of a problem, could figure it out by then, well, BUSD would never be touched. Like, that's fine. In fact, when we took a look yesterday, BUSD was down 0.002% at 99.999 cents, right? Like, it's $1. So let's say, okay, Amp, but we're on PancakeSwap. Like, what do we do? Well, if that day ever came, the US government doesn't say the next day, oh, by the way, everyone that's on this, you just lost all your money. No, they say in 30 days, you better get your money out of there or else you're going to lose your money. In which case, if the value of our coin would never be affected, then what would we have to do? Well, we'd have to go ahead and sell the Rhino on the market and then swap it and send it somewhere else. In which case, if we know that way ahead of time, we would go ahead and facilitate that, right? So my point of all of this is, as a member of Rhino, as a partner of Rhino, there are some news events that are important, but because we built Rhino to be the most conservative thing ever, in the sense that it's backed by the most boring dollar coin that is literally the line between a company going in business and out of business, and it's the largest crypto and the largest market and the largest growing thing in the entire world, we never decided to say, okay, you know what? Dogecoin's really exciting. Let's back it with Dogecoin so that not only does our coin go up, but when Dogecoin goes, no, we're not investing. It's a dollar coin. So the worst case scenario is the fact that at some point in the future, we would know well ahead of time, okay, this is the case. Now we just do steps 1, 2, and 3. Nice and simple. It wouldn't be, okay, now go into a dark room and that. No, it's the government would sanction it. Hey, listen, in 30 days, you can't be here, so go do this. And because the value of our coin would never be touched, we're good. Yeah, no, Rick, it's actually I don't want to say conspiracy theorist, but it's been in the underground world that people believe that Bitcoin was actually invented by either the Russian government or the US government, in a sense of, let's get everyone comfortable with crypto and then let's move to a digital currency and now we can track everyone's spending. Oh, you know what? You bought too much steak this month. We need to worry about global warming. You're unable to purchase it any longer because they could control all your money. I still think that's a ways away, but in terms of raising the temperature on a frog, you have to do it little by little, and I think this would fit that narrative. Okay, but I just want to share that with everyone because I think it is important. I think everyone, when a headline comes out like that, the SEC is suing, and then you're like, wait a second, Binance, we're so intricate in Binance. You need to know this stuff. Okay, so let's get back to Rhino stuff. Rhino bot is doing well. In fact, it would have been up today, except our tech team was working on it at midnight. And when you work on things at midnight, you need to do 2-step verifications with GoDaddy. Well, you always do, but I'm sleeping at midnight. So I didn't get the code to send to them. So they're working on it today. By the way, Rhino is sleeping at 12 o'clock. I go to sleep at like 9 o'clock, which is why I'm up at 5 a.m. So just FYI. Rhino Bucks will be at a new all-time high once we're done with this live because I sent money over to purchase. So we will have a new all-time high in liquidity pool. The price of Rhino is now 241. It was 242 yesterday. As you noticed, we have made it very clear we're going to allow it to float to 3. So we are actively allowing that price to move up. We're not holding it at 240 anymore, which is a 25% gain from where we are today. We believe that to be in the next month. So that's a good thing, right? We do want to see a $3 price on Rhino. Again, we have a partnership, Rhino and myself, and all of us. And although some things are spoken, Rhino is successful because it understands the things that are unspoken. It's really cool to say we're holding it at 240 because we're adding liquidity. That's fine. That goes ahead and fills the bucket of, all right, I'm in something safe and I'm in something that's secure and fortified. But that's not the reason to invest in anything. You don't invest in something because you believe you'll get your money back. You invest in something because you believe you'll make money on your money. Getting your money back is cost of doing business, right? Like if I can't get my money back, I'm not even considering you. But that doesn't mean because I'm getting my money back, I'm going to you. That's a must. I need to get my money back. But now what can I get on it? So Rhino knows that. And it is important that we make sure that everyone in Rhino is seeing a profit. So although Rhino has given me complete, wonderful luxury and courtesy to allow me to fortify the market as much as we have, I owe you something too. Like I need to make sure that everyone is quite happy with their accounts. Now, of course, Rhino started at 1, it's now 240. The majority of people are very happy. The all-time high of Rhino was 256. So conceivably, maybe half the percent of people in Rhino, if you purchased only between 245 and 255 back in February, you are the 1% that's unhappy. And that's assuming that you never purchase again, which, by the way, everything is a plan, so you would have. In fact, for you to be down on Rhino, you would have had to purchase only during that 1 week and then never purchase again. That is the only way you could have an account that's down. That's it, like literally. But even 1% is too high for me, right? So when we get to 3, everyone's going to be very, 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 very profitable, no matter where they were. So that's a good thing. So we're actively doing that. So I believe by the end of today, Rhino will be 243, 244, somewhere over there, which is good. I saw that we had at least 2 new accounts yesterday. I didn't see if there was any cancels. I'm like really far behind this morning. I had a couple of emails I had to get to. So I want to say we'll have a new all-time high in members. I think we will. So let's just go with that, but definitely check the ledger. Also, I had that call with those crypto people I told you about yesterday at 1 o'clock. And actually, so it was funny because as I'm talking to them, they're like, Ant, you know what's funny? The things that everyone wants, you don't want. Like everyone comes to us, and if they could get us in front of like people that have 200,000, 1 million to invest and do these big promos and get a bunch of money, that would be too, like, you don't want, that would be, I go, there's nothing in the world I want less than that. I just want to get in front of real people that are reasonable adults that can understand something simple and have an extra $5 or $10 a week that they can participate amongst everyone. They go, that's so easy. I go, well, that would be great. They go, there's 2 things we can do for you. AMAs, which by the way, I don't know what AMAs stand for, but it's actual groups of crypto investors that are present and people just give them pitches. So, 300, 500, 1,000, 5,000 will all know to be present at this special time, at this special room, like in Telegram or something. And they're going to hear a 10-minute presentation they could do a Q&A on. And the value to them is they could be amongst the first to go ahead and get into something that they believe has a lot of potential. And the value to the individual that sets these programs is they get to sell, all right, you want to be a part of this? It's going to cost you $500 and we'll put you in the room. So everyone does well, like everyone eats. They go, well, we have access to a lot of these events and we could get you in front of those people. And, it's on you what you do after that, but you could very easily get 3, 4, 5, 600 new plans any given day. And I was like, oh my God, that'd be fantastic. That's exactly what we want. And then they also have direct messaging On Telegram, there is no such thing as spam. So if you have someone's address, they're going to get it. Now, mind you, they might only read the first sentence and you have to, write something that catches their attention. But if you have, say, 50,000 crypto investors and you're going to get in front of them, those direct messages are powerful too. So these are the two things available to us. What they said to us, though, was, Anne, I understand your project is very unique. In fact, you really have something quite good. And of course, they looked at it beforehand. The one thing you need to know about these type of people, the ones that are already crypto investors, they have crypto everywhere. They have wallets with crypto, and what they do is they sell one to buy one, and this is the way they do business. They go, for you, because you have your partnerships with Stripe and stuff, the way you allow people to join is by like their debit card, their JP Morgan, their credit card, their this or that. There's no one in that space that's going to say, hey, I have so much crypto that I'm looking to use, but now I have to actually use cash to go ahead and get more crypto. That's kind of defeats the whole purpose. They go, if you're able to go ahead and accept plans with crypto, like if you could accept Bitcoin, that would be very good. Now, of course, that's not something that I could just, okay, poof, no, you have to actually build that. But there is a company that we then explored and investigated yesterday that seems like it would allow us to do that. Because they integrate with Zapier, which integrates with Kartra, which integrates with Stripe. So for instance, if we log on with them, which I wish I had time, I'm gonna have to do it tomorrow. But if I go ahead and do it tomorrow and set it up, and we set up the plan to be $10 worth of Bitcoin, well then conceivably, you can go ahead and set your recurring subscription to $10 worth of Bitcoin, and that $10 Bitcoin goes to them, in which case we would have a wallet with them, right? Like we would just accept money in Bitcoin and then we'd have to sell it and stuff. So it goes to them. But that integration would then transfer over to Kartra. So Kartra would go ahead and receive the information that this subscription agreement was built. In which case Kartra is integrated with our Stripe. So upon Kartra receiving subscription, it would go to Stripe. Once it's in Stripe, that's where the automations are born from. So the automations would go and be able to deposit the coin in the wallet, which conceivably, I guess I wouldn't assume it would be the same wallet address. People have thousands of wallets, actually. Like we're the only normal people that have like one or two. Point being, I think we can do this. So I'm going to investigate that further tomorrow. I would like to have a solid answer. And in fact, I'd like it to be built out, which I'm going to build out because I'll invest the time to building it. I'm a reasonably smart person. I could do this by Friday, in which case I can tell those individuals we're on and start booking us out. And it was so funny because they were, and I know I'm going a little long. I won't be too much longer. But it's funny because they had said to us, they go, Ant, these meetings, you got to be good with people. You have to be able to take questions. A lot of times we see people come in and they get asked a question, they don't know the answer. So, do you have experience talking to rooms of people? I was like, do you guys know what we do every day? Like we're live every morning and we do 1 hour lives Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then another 1 hour live Saturday. I was like, I think we'll be okay with that. So they were asking me a couple of questions. I was shooting them back answers and they're like, you're going to be really good at this. I was like, yeah, I know. So just book it out. And of course, we'll have to comp them. It won't be anything crazy. Again, I know them. So it's a connection. And I believe that they've already made it clear that they're not looking to make a profit on us. I already made it clear to them that I will not do anything. I will not accept anything for free. So there's a lot of gray area in between making a fair deal. So that's that. I want to give you that update. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, lastly, Twitter. So we went ahead and I think sent out like 5,000 tweets yesterday, like really a lot. And I don't think we got one new registrant for our webinar via Twitter. So we have to go back to the well and recalculate how we're working this Twitter marketing. But again, it's okay. We have 50,000 zaps we could do in a given month. We've only used 17,000. We'll figure it out. So I do want to take a look at the page, see if it's converting, how many people actually went to it, blah, 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 blah. Because maybe we'll just send, no, you can't do that. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But that's all I have. Oh, yes, Maurice, finally. Maurice, I think I mentioned Monday. I'm not sure you were in the meeting, but I was like, only because Maurice actually volunteered that he got into both those positions. I want to share that I believe he did well, and I hope he did really well. But to everyone that can see it, Maurice got into two positions Thursday that Rhino Welt highlighted, and he's sharing right now his profit 109% on one and 52 on the other in one day, which is totally cool. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Only because she wrote that. So for those that would be interested in doing something, oh, I did it for. I really don't like how Zoom always assumes that I only want to talk to host and panelist. All right, so I'm putting it in the chat now. Okay, so there is a 14-day free trial. I mean, so you could get in, look around, et cetera, et cetera. The only reason I'm mentioning it right now, other than Maurice giving me a really great opportunity to share with everyone how they could be a part of it as well, is that, and Maurice, I'm going to email it out. We have one right now that's 18 red and green. And conceivably, if it could just kind of stay philandering and not do too well, we'll have an opportunity Thursday to recreate that type of opportunity. Now, of course, something's guaranteed. Past performance is not indicative nor guarantees future performance, but it's looking a lot like something that's going to be successful. And we personally, by we, I mean me, with my own money, will personally be buying it. So I do want to share with everyone, if you're interested in any research, please get involved. And I want to say if we're lucky, we'll have the opportunity Thursday. But again, I built the algorithm so I could see what the odds are. And I believe we have an 80% chance that that opportunity will arise again Thursday. So definitely get in. Do we have a script for this registration, the Rhino webinar? Script. So the webinar that we're doing today, tomorrow, and Thursday for Rhino Bucks, we do have a webinar replay that I shared. I also sent out an affiliate yesterday offer that gives you a 3-day email sequence copy. I do have the transcript to the webinar because you have the transcript to the webinar. So you could go onto our YouTube and click the video, in which case you could download transcript. So you actually do have the script for the webinar. So you have all of that stuff. Yeah, so take a look at the email. We sent it out yesterday, I think at like 12 o'clock. Okay, I've gone entirely too long, but I must say, everyone, where I think only 2 people have left, and that was 10 minutes ago. So it's really, really cool that everyone's stuck with me. So let me get going. Hopefully by the end of the day, I can at least get the stuff that I had planned done. We're actually that far behind. And love, love, love. And I will see you tomorrow. Rick, you're the best. I'll see you guys. Thank you so much. Bye.